Welcome back. The Hate One graffiti reviews. As the title says, we're going to be testing out the three Buffproof inks from Illadel Ink. We have the Black Cherry, Imperial Violet, and Blackout. I wanted to do separate videos, but I thought, why not? Fuck it. We're just gonna test them all right here, right now. So, previous items from other videos with the bundle pack, we do have some filled up already. We got the Black Cherry, Imperial Violet, and the Black Label Slime Mop. The chisel tip on the Imperial Violet, and the Black Cherry has a dripstick. And then I have a Black Label ink inside of a 10mm chisel tip I got from the $75 mystery pack of Illadel ink, which is on my channel, one of the first videos I did. We have the Black Cherry refill, the Imperial Violet, and the Black Label. So when you get all three of them, they will have stickers to indicate the colors, because they almost all look identical unless you hold them up to the light. You can kind of see the difference. But so I got one chisel. We're gonna fill up two of these chisel tips. These are the 15mm chisels as opposed to the 10. Let's see, do I have another? No. Okay. Oh, that's alright. So let's do a money shot getting these filled up real quick. Pump valve action. Shake these up. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Camera's gonna shake because I have it, the chest piece rig on me. So what's great about these, the Illadel has the refill tabs on top. The I forgot what they're called, but makes refilling these markers up so much more easier. So let's get it in. Get that nice money shot. Ooh. Ooh, it's spraying everywhere. Oh, the marble got stuck in them. Fill it up to the top, right there. Perfect. I don't want to get purple ink all over everything, so wipe my fingers. That's why I always wear gloves, because I know this shit gets messy. So we'll put it right in there. May have overfilled just a smidgen. Go ahead and close this up. It's a lefty tighty, righty loosey with these. Oh, Jesus Christ. I marked the side. Okay. Kind of wiped off pretty easy there. Hope that's not a problem when I'm doing a buff test later on. But that's the Imperial Violet filled up. Let's fill up the Black Cherry. Now this is some of the best homemade ink on the market right now from Illadel Ink. Again, I'll tell you 1,000 times, and I'll tell you 1,000 times again. Follow Illadel Ink. He's got the best deals on Instagram, great customer service, fast shipping. Always looking out. Those of you watching the video, I know y'all watching the video, subscribe. I need y'all to subscribe. I need 50 subs on the channel. Hook a brother up. I need y'all to give me 50 subs, 50 likes, all that fun jazz. What did I do with the valve? Oh, it flew back here. 50 subs and 50 likes for the channel Hate One, please, and thank you so much. I'll be doing a giveaway when we're at 50 subs. I'll let y'all know what that is. I'm going to be giving away a drip mop. You can kind of see it hidden in the back over there. that Sakura from the split marker video, and then that drip mop over there I just filled up with the Illadel Ink Inferno Orange paint. I'll explain that later. But 50 subs, guys, come on. I know y'all can do it. Alright, nice. So now that we have these filled up, let's bleed these, do a close-up shot on these getting bled, and we'll do the testing on seeing how they write and how they flow. The Imperial Violet should go on black and Buffproof purple, and then so same thing for the cherry, except the cherry on some surfaces it should crack and make a lava effect, and the black label, I always call it blackout. The black label Buffproof ink should like take a couple rounds before buffing out. Alright, so this one should be, I already mixed them up. It should be the black cherry. Let's bleed it. Juice the nib, juice it up. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, again, like I said, it's gonna come out black, but it should buff into a cherry color, and it should bleed through on the buff as a cherry. And depending on what surfaces of paint it's on, it will crackle and make a cool lava effect. Now we're gonna bleed the juice up the Imperial Violet. I'm not sure if this one comes out as purple ink or black ink. It's looking like looks a bit purple, but it is coming out black, which is pretty badass, and it should bleed through the buff as purple. And then we have our black label. Let's juice up the nib. Oh, nice, nice, thick, opaque, solid black. I love that. Very sick, very sick. Alright. Let's move up to the testing areas. We're also going to test out the black cherry drip mop. Yeah, that should be that. And then this should be the violet. The violet came in a chisel tip. We'll test out the chisel. Let's bleed this chisel. Juicing it up, juicing it up. Nice, nice. Okay, with the chisel tip, you can definitely see it came out a little bit more lighter than the bigger marker. I guess because I didn't shake it up. Yeah, I shook it up a little bit. It came out more black. I guess all the colored pigments settled to the top. The marker's already juiced. Let's juice up this nib. Unless it's already juiced, let's check it out. Oh yeah, because this ink is so thin and awesome. It just like, it flows. It just flows right through the nib. Let's test these bad boys out. Let's test these Crazy Johns out. That should be the black, cherry, and Imperial Violet. So you got 6 markers to test out, 3 different colors. Let's head up to the different canvases. Alright, so let's start with the black label. This is like plexiglass, so this surface should be pretty smooth to write on. It's coming out a bit streaky because I believe it's the plexiglass. Alright, that's a black label Buffproof black label. Hopefully this one comes out a little better because there's a bunch of shit written on here. I didn't get to buff it, but this is going to be the Imperial Violet. Oh shit. Okay, now it definitely came out looking awesome as fuck. This one, oh man, this one writes like butter. I actually like the way this Imperial Violet is going on. Pretty smooth. That came out super smooth. I actually like that. And nice, really fucking bright purple. Badass ink, badass, fucking sick. Alright, let's move to the cherry. Definitely caught off guard with that Imperial Violet. Let's see if the cherry does the same and comes out super bright. So this is going to be the black cherry. I know the nib's popping off. Holy shit, this thing is this formula is so, I want to say, dissolving and acidic. It made the nib so frail. I don't know if you could see that. That's not supposed to happen. That's crazy. I mean, I could still work with it. I just gotta be extra soft with it. Can't be so rough. This nib is just, it's all over the goddamn place now. Feels like I'm using a wet paintbrush. Pretty sick. Well, there you have it. Let's move on to the other side of this. So this is on plexiglass. Came out pretty cool. I'll do a buff test in a minute here. Let's put it onto the other side where it's painted. Alright, so fuck it. Actually, we'll do this instead. We'll try this test instead. Got a bigger canvas to work with. The nib is like completely dissolved from the black cherry formula. Unless I got a bad nib, but I've never ever heard of a bad nib before. So it's kind of hard to get some pretty fluid tags with it. 'Cause it's like using a wet paintbrush. And it's not really sticking still. It's funny that this nib is just completely destroyed from this formula. Very interesting. I'm guessing the nib was just a fluke or something. Because look at it, the nib is completely falling apart now. I have no idea what's going on. Alright, so now we got the Imperial Violet next. I love this one. Fucking love the Imperial Violet. I love it's so bright. I mean, it's so opaque, very opaque. Goes on really thick, smooth as butter. And that's it in a 15mm chisel. Oops. For some reason, I forgot how to spell Buffproof. Like a jackass. Alright, so that's all of them right there. Again, tested on a bigger canvas. We've got the black cherry, Imperial Violet, and Black Label Buffproof. I spelled proof wrong. I knew I did it. I forgot a fucking O. Whatever. Alright, let's move to one more surface. Hopefully it caught the tag. Sick. Alright, that's that. I'm gonna move a little bit more down so I can do the black cherry with the drip mop. Is it just me, or does this fucking... Am I bugging that this actually smells like some cherry? Kind of fucked up, but it's alright. Let's put a little drips in it, squeeze it. Oh yeah, there we go. I was about to put a fucking K. Sick. That is the black cherry. The nib got a little roughed up. That's okay. You can see a little bit of red-ish tone to it. Alright, so final product here would be the Black Label Slime Lime Drip Mop with the Black Label Buffproof ink. Let's see, hopefully I can get this. Oh shit. It is juicing everywhere. Holy shit. Oh god damn. I'm not even trying to squeeze it and it's fucking... Oh, no wonder why the fucking nib busted. Black Label. I'm just going really slow. The nib has entirely fallen off. I was too rough with it. Put a little dabber. Get my little arrow in there. I mean, the fucking drips are badass as fuck. I mean, super drip consistency. It'd been a lot cooler if the fucking dib didn't get completely fucked on this surface. I don't know how that happened. It is what it is, it happens. I still got the chisel tips that I could put this ink in. Let's see, what other surface can we use? So I went ahead and got a couple more test areas. We've got the wooden palette here with the Black Cherry, Black Label, Imperial Violet. I threw a little bit more tags on this bigger board, and then on the plexiglass I've got on the opposite end where it's just buffed white instead of the actual plexiglass itself. I have I put some more tags down with the Black Cherry, Imperial Violet, and Black Label. Alright, so I'm going to give everything a time to dry up, and we'll do the buff test here in a minute. Got one of those 1 gallon buckets of white paint. We'll be buffing everything out here soon. See what survives and what doesn't. Now that everything's nice and dry, we're going to go ahead and hit everything with the buff test. We got our little mini roller here with some nice liquid latex whites. Then we're going to hit it, buff out the cherry, the Black Cherry, Imperial Violet, and the Black Label ink. See which one survives the buff test. Let's get at it. Alright, so the first one here, we have the workshop studio door. Metal frame. We're just going to try to go one solid coat all the way through. Everything's nice and painted. All right, let's move on to the next. Let that dry up, see what bleeds through, head on to the next surface. All right, for this one, I got a nice little piece of wood that kind of just used to, just a nice little piece of wood I used for a base on some certain items. We have the black label. It should be, no, this is the black cherry up top, the black label, and the imperial violet. Shouldn't need too much paint on this one. Let's just hit it up. Paint the whole thing white. Buff out everything that's on there. Alright, cool. It's all buffed out. We'll let that dry, see what pops through. The next things we're going to buff out of the different inks. We're going to buff the plexiglass that I tagged up on. And this is like what's it, like cardboard, like fucking, I don't know, it was a big ass sign that I janked from a business. It's one of those like those thick cardboard plastic material shits. It's a really smooth plastic surface. But let's buff out the plexiglass and see how that turns out. See what bleeds through on that. Again, these are all first layer buffs. These are all just the first round of the buff. Alright, the Imperial Violet on the plexiglass has proven to be quite the pain in the ass. Buff man's nightmare right there. Okay, and then we're gonna head off to the cardboard sign. Big plastic sign. This one's got a mix of the cherry, the Imperial Violet, the black label. We'll see which one survives the buff. I'm just gonna hit it with a one single coat buff. I'm not gonna try to go I'm not going to try to hit it multiple times in one spot. I just want to do one quick buff on everything. Yes, I know I spelled violet wrong, and I spelled Buffproof wrong. Alright, That's all of that. We have one more area to test out. Holy shit, look at that fucking Imperial Violet. Just bled through that first buff on the plexiglass. So I'm assuming if this was like on some fucking window or something, it would just be a buff man's nightmare. We're gonna turn the plexiglass around because I have a painted side on the plexiglass that I also did a bunch of tags on. The painted side of the plexiglass, so some of the paint, some of these inks were eating away at the paint as I was tagging. So I was like, pretty crazy, pretty gnarly. Let's give this one a buff test real quick. See what survives. Again, I'm just gonna try to do one solid buff for each color. Alright, so now that everything's all buffed out, give it about 10 minutes to dry up, and we'll just take it from there and see what happens. It's been about 10 minutes or so. The Imperial Violet bled through after the first buff. The Black Label, not so well, but you can still see it bled through. Not as heavy as that Imperial Violet ink. And the Black Cherry, really cool. Bleed through of the red. The cherry popped through. Pretty badass. I really like that one. Again, the Black Label not so tough, but it still bled through after that first layer. But the Imperial Violet just ate away at the fucking buff on the first round. Let's check out the other test. So we have the giant cardboard sign. Again, the Imperial Violet proved to be the most buff proof of them all. It just bled through the entire first buff. The cherry, black cherry, did its thing. Nice little red pop. Came right through with the black cherry. I like that. I really like that. It bleeds red. And then the Black Label, a nice little ghost of the black. You can barely see it. Not as crazy as the Imperial Violet, but it still popped through. Cherry did its thing. Let's check out the little piece of wood. So on the wood test, the cherry didn't probably soaked into the wood for the most part, and so did the black. But again, this Imperial Violet, it is something else. Cherry did a little bit of the red and black. Again, these probably soaked into the wood, so can't really justify this test, but damn, that Violet. Speechless about that one. Where was the painted side of the plexiglass? The black cherry, I like how the black cherry popped out on this one. Came out really nice with the black cherry. And the Violet, Imperial Violet, again, proven to be #1 unbuffable. The Black Label, on the other hand, still a very faint ghost. We're going to flip it over and see the actual smooth plexiglass side. Alright, so the Black Label, little ghost there, Imperial Violet, absolutely destroyed the buff. And the Black Cherry, got a little bit of the cherry on this one, not too much. But still pretty sick nonetheless. I'm going to hit everything off camera with one more buff, with the second buff, and see what survives. Second buff, the Imperial Violet bled through once again. The Black Label not so well, and the Black Cherry looks really cool. I like the Black Cherry. They proved to be different on different surfaces. You'll see here in a minute, like the Black Cherry and the Imperial Violet just pop out better on some other different surfaces. The plexiglass buff, second buff covered the Black Label. The Imperial Violet still stuck out again, not as strong, but it still definitely, I think it'll pass a third buff if needed. And the black cherry really popped out this time on the plexiglass. You can see the cherry red just sticking out after 2 coats of the buff. So pretty badass. I think the black cherry would survive a 3rd coat as well as the Imperial Violet. The final test we have over here, the big business sign. Again, the Imperial Violet and the black. Well, the black label actually survived the 2nd buff on this one, which is really good. And the black cherry as well, and the Imperial Violet. I mixed some water with the paint, so that's why it's got this real cool runny effect. So I really dig that. That's a fucking buff man's nightmare when they're trying to clean this. It's just gonna smear everywhere. I'll give my final verdict here. Alright, well, that's it. That's the whole buff. I gave the Black Label redemption arc by I'll post pictures of that as well. I gave it a redemption arc by just covering the whole studio door with the Black Label ink. It is buff proof, but it's not as violent as the Imperial Violet or the Black Cherry. That being said, this is my final verdict. Black Label is a good, solid black. I love it. Get it? It's really good. I like it. It went on super opaque, really smooth, buttery, nice drips. Buff wise, didn't really survive past the 1st round of buffing. Black Cherry and the Imperial Violet, on the other hand, are my 2 favorite. Like, I recommend these 100% of the way from Illadel ink. If you're going to get something that you want stained and buff proof, the Imperial Violet is my favorite of the 3 bunch. It's really opaque, smooth like butter, nice drippy ink. It survived several of the buffs, and I would say this is the buff man's nightmare right here. But on the other hand, the Black Cherry, is just as badass. I would say that's like, it survived multiple buffs as well and bled through every time with a nice cherry red buff. Give both of these a shot. You decide which one you want is your favorite, but both of these inks are my favorite. Definitely would use them in a mop, marker, drip mops, anything. These are superior from Illadel ink. These are the buff proof inks of Black Cherry and Indigo Violet and Black Label. That was the test for all 3 of them. If you're gonna go support Illadel ink, still get the Black Label, test it out for yourself, but I very highly recommend getting Black Cherry and Imperial Violet. Absolute killers. Support the homie Illadel ink. Support my channel. I need 50 subscribers so we can start going live and doing live demos for you guys. So 50 subs, smash the bell, hit like, fucking comment, and subscribe, damn it. Until next time, gang. Peace, fuckers.